I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to.
Hello, hello, hello. This is Shirley Crawford, the owner of Second Chance Consulting and the executive director of the Women's Business Center, RVA, coming to you with another episode of WorkHardAholics. And so I hope that you've been having an amazing weekend, or depending on what day you're seeing this. For me, once again, it's a Sunday. It was the most convenient day for me to get in here and get this done. For those of you who are with us again, welcome back. We're glad to have you. Welcome home again. For those of you who are voyeurs or just visiting, you're probably wondering what exactly is a work-hard-aholic. Well, let me tell you. A work-hard-aholic is someone who is always doing something. We're not the sit around and twiddle our thumbs and, wait for things to come to us kind of people. We take charge. We take action. We like things done. And so we make sure that that happens. We even scheduled our relaxation time. Yes, we do. It's all in there. So today we just join together. We take a few minutes to talk about ways that we can be better at what we do, ways that we can be more efficient, more fabulous, and make sure that we're still taking care of ourselves, even though we work hard, but we play harder. So as always, one of my favorite things are words, and so that's where I'll start. The word for the week is dichotomy. Dichotomy. And so, I love words. I've shared it with you all before. You should know this by now. I love a good word. Love a good word. And so whenever I hear the word, like the English language is like amazing to me because it's this hodgepodge of cultures and all just kind of together. And we come up with this bastardized version. And so like when I visited London, the gentleman was telling me, like, you all don't speak English right. Of course not. It's your language. It's English for England. We have this Americanese that we have going on around here. So I find it very fascinating. And I pity everyone who has to learn American English because we're always changing the rules. But bless their hearts. I'm so Southern. I can say that for you. All right. So dichotomy. It always makes me think of like, kill it off. Die. Dichotomy, kill it. Okay. The too many Bruce Lee movies growing up. And so, because whenever you hear ame, like, it's always like a research, a study of, or something. So it's like, it's the study of killing something off. Not quite. Not exactly. But the other thing it makes me think of is like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Right? I always want to confuse the two. And so it's like this split personality. In botany, they always talk about it being like one plant that diverges off into two different sectors. A dichotomy is a contrast, like the far ends. I'm really happy, that's all. And so like the contrast, these dire diverging ends. Like war and peace, love and hate. But we all know that all of them are connected in some way, shape, or form. So that's how I often think about it. So Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of for me. But really, if you look at plants, they always talk about how it's one plant and then it has a dichotomy of two. And they say like science and religion are a dichotomy, which I don't actually agree with. But that's another story. That's just your word for the week. Dichotomy. And in that vein, because I'm all about these themes these days, thinking about your time tool technique. And so once again, I am a geek. Proud of it. Whoop whoop, geeks rule. But I've been thinking somewhat about some of your softer skills. And so I was thinking about with the terms of dichotomy, a tool that would be it's very effective, especially if you're trying to like make a decision and because your brain is so active and so engaged and you can think about all the billions of options, the quickest way to come down to the right answer is to make a pro and con list. Dichotomy, get it? Pro, con, ha 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 ha. Told you there's a thing. And so what I would say do is come up very quickly with the 5 things you must have and the 5 things you won't tolerate. See that dichotomy? And then from that, you should be able to answer your question, your dilemma quickly, as opposed to sitting around going, should I or shouldn't I? Sit down immediately, take out your Excel spreadsheet. There's software for it as well, but you get the idea. Make a quick pro and con list. There's a reason why some things have been around for forever, because they work. So my time to technique is a pro-con list. Not one for forever. Do the snowball effect. Do it very quickly. 5 things you must have, 5 things you won't tolerate, and that will answer the question or dilemma that you're making the pro-con list about. All right. So continuing on. On that note, we're going to talk about our book it moment. And the book I wanted to share, because I'm into dichotomy and list, is Lists to Live By for Smart Living. It's a compilation by Gray. Who else is on here? Gray, Stevens, and Van Dyst. So it's a compilation of a variety of lists, and some of them are really, really cool. Some of them are like, hokey. I mean, they're lists. But some of them are really things you should stop and pause and think about. And so, yeah, I had one that I really liked that I didn't bother to highlight for you. So you have to go get your own copy, and then you can sort through and find the list that makes you happier, because, yeah. And then you can make your own list as well near the end. But list to live by for smart living. And so, but when you're reading it, keep in mind, really pause and think and consider as you're moving along on the process. All right, so I've been very expeditious today, haven't I? Are you impressed? Be impressed. All right, so that actually takes me to our work hard, play harder moment. And I have been running, I want to say in circles, but I haven't been. I've been running a marathon. I've been extremely busy recently, and that's a great thing. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And I appreciate those of you who I see out in public and you're like, oh, I've been seeing your episodes and I like this and give me more of that. Or those who I'm seeing and you're like, well, you've seen the articles or the interviews or whatever else. Either way, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for your support. And I'm here to do my best to support our entrepreneurial community. And on that note, if you have any questions or anything you'd like answered specifically, I really do small business consulting. So I'd love to answer a question. Let me know. And probably coming into the new year, we'll start having interviews of other WorkHardAholics. So if that's you, you can let me know that too. So on the work hard and play harder moment, I'm not going to go over my whole list of everything I did this week, which I often share. Actually, I normally just share from the weekend, because this weekend has been very consistent. I have had a funeral every day. Not every other week, but every day of the weekend. I had a funeral Thursday, I had a funeral Friday, I had a funeral Saturday. And so, without getting into the logistics and the details and even the sentimentality of it, my work hard, play harder moment for you is take time to find joy for your sorrow. And so let me tell you what I did. So the funeral on Saturday, I've had a roller coaster of emotion happening, but the funeral on Saturday in particular was in Hampton. And so I drove down, I was supposed to have a rehearsal. We canceled the rehearsal out of respect and so that we could attend. So went down for the funeral, wanted to make sure the family knew that we were at least thinking about them and that we were present for them. And then when it was over, everyone was driving back to Richmond and I drove by myself because, that's just me. I like to be free to be able to do whatever it is I need to do. And I wasn't sure which direction I was going. And so I'm in Hampton and all of a sudden it occurred to me, duh, this is like your favorite place. Go to the beach. And so I did. And so first I went to a pier that was around the corner from where the service was held. I GPSed it just to see where's the water near you. And so I went to a pier and watched these guys harvest for clams, which was a really interesting thing because one would go to a space, move to the other side, and someone would come to the space that they had taken that they didn't consider good enough. Someone else had been waiting just to get there, which I thought was a prolific statement in and of itself. But the point for me, and then I left there and went to Buckrow. I had to go to Buckrow. I was like, I can't just go back to Richmond. I have to go to Buckrow. And so I went to Buckrow Beach, and even though I wasn't dressed for the beach, I just walked along the boardwalk. I would call it a boardwalk, but it's not really. It's Buckrow. I walked along the sidewalk and just listened to the waves. And that's the thing that always brings me joy and peace. And so I would suggest to you that when you are in the midst of tumultuous times and complications, that you find some way to find the thing that brings you joy. And experience it. Live in that moment. Don't rush it by. Don't force it to happen. Just stop and pause and be. So, that's it today from your original WorkHardAholic. And you all have a marvelous day and live better, do better, be better. And as always, happy entrepreneuring. Ta-ta. Until the next time.
Because I really don't know what I would do if I didn't have some work that I had to get to. Da-da-da-da-da-da.